What's going on, guys? Como están, boys? Here and welcome back to another live reaction here on the channel after the matches of France winning 2-1 against Australia, then Argentina drawing 1-1 with Iceland, then Peru losing 0-1 to Denmark, and now Nigeria falling to Croatia 2-0. Oh my god, my voice. No, that's not gonna happen. I don't want to hear me. I don't like having double audio here. But we're gonna talk about today about Nigeria's loss, or Nigeria's defeat to Croatia 2-0. I gotta say that this match was a little bit underwhelming because not too many things happened in this match. For most of the first half, we saw Croatia just doing what Croatia does, which is really keeping the ball in the middle of the park. They never really penetrate the final third, and they find the first goal through an own goal. And in this sport, like I talk about Peru, it's all about putting the ball in the back of the net. However it happens, and they do this by a cross, just a little bit of bouncing here and there, and falls into Etebo, and Etebo puts it into the back of the net, and then the second goal comes from a penalty. I don't know, really. This is just football. Sometimes you cannot really explain what's going on. Sometimes you can just see Nigeria being some cases superior to Croatia, but at the end of the day, it's all about who gets the goals. And today, Croatia managed to beat Nigeria 2-0 with very little, with very little. It's a little bit worrying for Croatia because they are a level up above Nigeria, let's be honest. But they didn't create too much football, and I was too worried about that. They got people like Rakitic and Modric, and even Ante Rebic. You got so many people. Let me just silence my phone here, 1 second. But they never really did much, and that's worrying for Croatia because then the next match is going to be Argentina versus Croatia. And if Croatia just settles it and really kills it off, I don't see them getting a win against Argentina. And that is really worrying because if they want to take the first spot. And after that, they got Iceland. So it's even tougher. It's all about taking into consideration that Exactly. Nigeria wasn't aggressive enough. They were not aggressive. Both Croatia was passive, but Nigeria never took advantage of that. Nigeria is a team which I would normally associate with aggression, physicality, and speed. And Nigeria didn't do any of those three. They weren't fast, they weren't physical, and they weren't aggressive. I was really surprised about Nigeria today. They were really underwhelming. I don't know what happened in the dressing room or whatever. There must have been a speech that didn't really motivate the players. But how much motivation do you need going into the World Cup and doing your debut? I don't know about Nigeria. I was really underwhelmed about them. I thought they were going to create a lot of more problems here in this group, but apparently they just go out really silent. I think that hopefully this is just one debut thing and they can get back into it, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough now that Iceland managed to get the draw against Argentina. Overall, I gotta say that something else, for instance, was that the manager for Nigeria decided to go not all out attack, but actually put most of their attacking players in, and there wasn't never a player to create a lot of play. They had not too many CDMs. Per se, they had Ndidi and John Obi Mikel. I know John Obi Mikel had that step in his career through Chelsea, and that actually gives him a lot of prestige. But overall, I was once again, really underwhelmed by Nigeria today. It wasn't a lot. As we see right now, let me take a look at the lineups for Nigeria. They go Victor Moses, John Obi Mikel, Alex Iwobi, Igalo, Etebo, Ndidi, and they brought in people like Ahmed Musa, Siomen Nawakando, which I don't know who he is. Let me check out which position was he. He's a striker. And they brought in also Kelechi Iheanacho. But if you can see, none of those substitutes was actually a creative player. And the main thing was that they needed to rival Croatia in the midfield. They needed to try and push Croatia out of their comfort zone because Croatia were just getting the ball. They wasn't doing too much with it. But the thing was that if Croatia just had the ball, Nigeria never really got it back. And that's the main thing. That's the main thing that really worries me about Nigeria. They had so many CDMs, but they couldn't get the ball back. And I'm really underwhelmed with that because at the end, you finished 55 possession with Croatia, 45 for Nigeria. And you can just take a look at, for instance, fouls. 20 fouls for Croatia, 16 fouls for Nigeria. This game was really not going anywhere. But at the end of the day, like I said, once again, Croatia got 2 goals out of context, and that really can seal you the game. I was really impressed in Croatia by Ante Rebic. This is a player from Frankfurt. He was very good at the end of the season, and And I gotta say that exactly like you said, Victor Moses was flopping. And I think that we take Victor Moses, we take Ante Rebic, and we see just a mirror. Ante Rebic was very, very clinical, not clinical, but he was doing most of his plays right. He was making the best decisions possible. Victor Moses sort of like thought he was the best player on that pitch, and I don't really have to agree with that. I think that the best thing about Nigeria, like I said, is that they are a collective, and if you take advantage of that, I think that Victor Moses would have done so much better. Moreover, I think that Victor Moses just excels a little bit better as a right back. It's gonna sound a little bit controversial, but I think that he has that ability of just being very energetic and surprising the attack. When Victor Moses is the main star, he never really works out, but when he's like collaborating and coming up through the back as a right wing back, just overlapping, I think he's best at doing that. And that's what I really was underwhelmed. Plus, if he was actually played in that position, we could have seen Iheanacho, then Nwakando and Igalo all being and playing with the advantage of somebody like Victor Moses putting cross in. And that's something that Victor Moses is just really, really good at. Moreover, I gotta say that I was hoping for the incorporation of somebody like Onasi. I think Onasi or Joe Obi were going to be two very good players if they brought them in, but at the end of the day, nobody came, and I was just really underwhelmed once again. This match, there's not really too much I can talk about. Overall, I gotta say Croatia, they get the very first points. They move all the first up to being the first team in Group D. They got 3 points, then Argentina and Iceland 1-1, and then Nigeria with 0. Nigeria now has to face Iceland, which if they can get a win, they're gonna be still competitive. But I think that if this Nigeria side are thinking of no, actually, to be honest, I think Nigeria can get a result against Iceland, because I think the thing about Iceland is that they don't like the ball. Iceland do not like to have the ball, and Nigeria here were lacking because they didn't have the ball. So I think that perhaps against Iceland, we could see a very similar match between Nigeria and Iceland, like we saw today between Argentina and Iceland, where Iceland just really tried to shut every single floodgate and really tried and give the hardest time possible for Nigeria. In the case of Croatia, I think they're mostly set to the next round if they can get a result. If they can draw against Argentina or win against Argentina or even win against Iceland, I think they're set. If they get one more point, I think they're really, really set, because the thing here is now that Argentina and Iceland, they drew, so there's not any real rival to them right now. So it's all going to be about those two matches for Croatia, but it was very underwhelming. I was very worried about Croatia because I didn't like them at all. Croatia, they need to improve. They have amazing talents, but it's really surprising how they don't create much. I think that having Kramaric, Perisic, and Ante Rebic was a mistake. I think they should have gone with Rakitic, Modric, and perhaps someone like Brozovic. I think this would have been a much better formation to try and put a little bit more of creative play, because Kramaric, he doesn't do much, and Ante Rebic is just a player who likes to create, but for the right hand sides, and for the middle was where you could hurt Nigeria the most, and they didn't take advantage of that, even though you had Rakitic and Modric. So you understand, it was really, really weird, but this match just was a flop. To be honest, was a flop. I don't think Argentina is gonna make it out of the group. To be honest with you, I kind of think of the same. They have to fix that system I was talking about in the review about Argentina and Iceland. If they don't fix that, then they're in big trouble. They're in very, very big trouble, because they are not working good. They don't work good as a system. And for instance, a team like Nigeria can cause them problems in that. The same with Croatia, perhaps. But it's all gonna be, it's all really just out in the air. We don't know. So I don't know what to respond to that. I think that Argentina has more than enough to get out of the group, because obviously they got Lionel Messi. But in my opinion, I would like to see Croatia and Iceland. I was thinking that perhaps Argentina and Croatia were going to make it out, but just watching Argentina today, they were very underwhelming. But the same with Croatia. So I think the next match between Croatia and Argentina is going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. The biggest match in this group is going to be Argentina versus Croatia. And I think that because before it was a game to see who is going to finish first, but now it's going to be a game to see if Argentina can go through. Because if they lose against Croatia, they could already be saying goodbye. And that's nervous. That's really, really nervous for Argentina. Hopefully they can, not really hopefully, because I don't know. I'm not gonna predict anything right now. So, well, hopefully, guys, you have enjoyed another day of live reactions of the World Cup. Tomorrow, if I'm not wrong, let me take a look at the fixtures. I haven't done already the schedules for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have, starting off right away at 7 a.m. for me, we have Costa Rica versus Serbia. Then we have Germany versus Mexico, which is such a good game. And then we have Brazil versus Switzerland. So we're going to have 3 live reactions tomorrow. Very good live reactions. Germany versus Mexico. That's going to be an amazing match. That's going to be like a Portugal-Spain. I gotta say that the best matches I've seen so far in the World Cup have to be Portugal versus Spain, Argentina versus Iceland, and Peru-Denmark. I think those 3 matches were really, really intense. And I cannot get out of my head, Peru. I cannot get out of my head. This is so disappointing. Peru did so good. Peru did so good. I'm seeing people saying, oh, Peru didn't take the chances. But we took our chances. Only that it's unlucky. They were not going in. The goalkeeper was 10 out of 10. And it was just hitting the post. It was just by a millimeter. It didn't get in. Like, how can you say we're not taking our chances? Come on. It's just hideous what I hear some people say. Hopefully Peru can make it out. Hopefully we can. Hopefully we can. Hopefully we can. We have a strong team, a strong unity, and we didn't deserve to lose. We didn't deserve to lose this match. We didn't. We really, really didn't.